When people hear that I became an amputee after having flu-like symptoms, the question I most often get is, how did I end up getting septic shock from that? And how did that end up causing me the loss of my limbs? It just doesn't seem to make sense. And believe me, I'm right there with you. I never would have thought that this small infection on my thumb could have led me, first of all, to become as sick as I became, and then to have that sickness actually end up causing me circulatory problems that ended up causing me the loss of my fingers and the loss of my feet. There's actually at least two ways that I know that this can happen. And one of them is with a secondary condition that you can get sometimes when you get sepsis. So first of all, let me just quickly say, what is sepsis? It is your body's overreaction to an infection. And it sometimes gets triggered. We don't know exactly why. I was very healthy. It can happen in a healthy person. So I always stress it's important that you know the symptoms, and you can look at my page for that. But I got sick. I got this infection. It caused me to become sick, which really meant that the infection got going through my bloodstream and got in my body, and my body started attacking not only the infection, but it attacked, and it actually started attacking myself. And so one of the things that happened is it caused my blood vessels to begin leaking. And I was actually losing blood in my extremities out into my body. And then clotting happened, which is natural when you get that kind of internal bleeding. So my body started clotting naturally, and the blood clots cut off circulation to my fingers and my toes, and then eventually my hands and my feet. I'm lucky that I have my hands. I shouldn't. I'm very, very lucky, and I had amazing medical care, and the universe was on my side. But I was not so lucky with my feet. That condition is called DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation. So basically, in my vascular system at my extremities, I had coagulation happening, which was the blood clots, and that cut off my circulation, causing gangrene, which is like what happens when someone has frostbite. And basically, my fingertips and my toes died, and then it started spreading up my hands and my feet. And as I said, I'm really lucky I still have my hands. I was in a meeting today with a nurse who's been doing critical care for 45 years, and she said that when she used to see patients as sick as I was at the beginning of her career, they never survived. And so I'm really lucky to be here. It's why you don't see a million multiple amputees walking around, because unfortunately, most people who become as sick as I did don't survive. The second way that people lose limbs because of septic shock is that when their body becomes that sick, as I say, it started attacking itself, and then they had this huge inflammatory response. One of the things that happens and what makes it septic shock is that your blood pressure drops to a dangerous level. That's what shock is a big drop in blood pressure, and it happens because your body is starting to die. Your organs are failing. That's common, and that is one of the symptoms of septic shock. And so I had my lungs failing, I had my kidneys failing, I was not urinating, and my circulatory system was failing. But something that made it more complicated is that they give you vasopressors. And this is a medication that they give to you so that it will basically constrict your blood vessels in your extremities, which is your hands and your feet and your arms and your legs, and it will push the blood to your core because they're trying to save your vital organs. Vital, meaning you can't live without them. Vital for life. You need your organs to live. So your body, even without the vasopressors, I think it actually starts doing that on its own to try and save itself, but the vasopressors are a way that they can speed that process and give you a better chance of survival. I would not have survived had they not given me that. And it's a really horrible choice that a doctor has to make, and it's called the choice of life over limbs. And they can't guarantee when they give you vasopressors that you're still going to have your limbs, but they know that they might be able to save your life, and it's worth that risk. So I am grateful to be here. Turns out, don't need my fingertips. Turns out I don't even need my feet. And so I don't want to make light of it, but I do want to say that there are worse things, and the worst thing would be me not being here. So I'm grateful to have survived. I did lose parts of my body, and fortunately there's amazing technology that helps me live a very normal life.